It is the 7th of the 8th, 2025. That means, therefore, there is one F1-centric thread at which we need to pull on today. This afternoon, I want to talk about Sir Lewis Hamiton, and in particular some of the things that Toto, the boy who cried wolf, has been saying. Because if your name is Sir Lewis Carl Davidson Hamiton, then I think there is a way that you spell betrayal, and that way is this: TOTOWOLFF. The reason why are as follows. Toto, the boy who cried wolf, has never been a trustworthy character. Some say that a friend in need is a friend indeed. Therefore, you would expect Toto, the boy who cried wolf, to rally to the support of his former charge, the 7-time champion, GOAT settings, man whose first round Hall of Fame, Mount Rushmore of F1, the one they call Sir Lewis Hamiton, particularly when now, more than ever, 42 points adrift of Charles Leclerc is where he stands in the drivers' standings. Only last race, Charles Leclerc puts it on pole, so Lewis Hamiton doesn't even make it into Q3. What are we doing then? Therefore, this is unprecedented levels of underperformance from Sir Lewis Hamiton. You've seen what that dude is capable of. 2018 Singapore, 2007 as near as makes no difference. Every single bloody race, running Fernando Alonso away to pastures anew in his debut season, for Pete's sake. Now, though, the circumstance and context is very different, is it not? Charles Leclerc is a fire-breathing dragon, point to point, some say quickest of any on the grid, and Sir Lewis Hamiton isn't taking to the circumstance that is the red car with the yellow badge and the black prancing horse atop. It is politics. The car does not suit him. For want of rigidity at the rear, doesn't give him the confidence requisite to take a gazillion miles an hour through medium to high speed turns. It's techier than techie things, lest we forget carbon industry brakes and discs and pads are what he's used to. He doesn't have that. The steering's been all over the shop. It is chaos, therefore, for Sir Lewis Hamiton, is it not? He said this weekend past that he was useless. Maybe Scuderia Ferrari need to change the driver, that he's no longer fit for purpose. On the back of which you would expect one Toto, the boy who cried wolf, to come to his friend, his old mate's defence, the man with whom he travels back and forth to and from Grand Prix. What are we doing here then, Toto? Let me show you a picture, a piece of footage as to how bad it is. Lest we forget that in F1 sometimes history doesn't repeat, but sometimes it doth rhyme. Please continue.
The same generation, and I just know how it is to be on the back foot, have people talk negatively about you, have people write you off, and also feel that sway within the team that the other guy is getting all the energy. And I know the psychological turmoil that you go through as a driver and as an athlete, and I know Seb has been going through that, and and his teammates just been on the up and the up, the up.
Yeah.
Everyone, I've spoken to people who are super high up people who said, oh, for me, Seb's written off, that's him done. Of course, now they're obviously, appears like they've put all their eggs in one basket. Whereas Seb was the #1 driver that they would always choose, as where now it appears to have been for some time that it's now all Charles, and they're banking their future on Charles, and I think you'll see things evolve over the next year or so that will show you that that's the case. But then I would say never underestimate the impact of the driver. That car has developed over these years. There's been nothing to do with Charles. It's been all Seb's work with the team. Like, the respect we have is I think we have a special relationship, me and Seb. And when we're in like the GPDA meetings, we try to represent for the youngsters and kind of help lead that, because the things that we say and do and help push are going to impact the next generation.
You couldn't get more techie if you tried. That's Sir Lewis there talking about the travails, the multitudinous foibles and pitfalls as far as his old mate Sebastian Vettel over at Scuderia Ferrari. He sounds like he's describing his own troubles now, but this was years ago. Lest we forget that F1 history doesn't repeat, but sometimes it does rhyme. Is this not a case in point that Sir Lewis Hamiton now is treading the same path that Sebastian Vettel once struggled to tread? It's techie, and it only gets techier. You would expect, therefore, on the back of the troubled circumstance that is Sir Lewis struggling to get his feet in underneath the red table. Scuderia Ferrari et al. That one Toto, the boy who cried wolf, will come out and defend him. But things have changed. I know Toto keeps saying that they're good friends and nothing's changed. It's all love and respect between himself and Sir Lewis Hamiton. But you know who Toto, the boy who cried wolf, is? He talks out of both sides of his mouth, depending upon who it benefits at what particular time. He's a brilliant stakeholder manager. And at this particular time, he needs to curry some favour with King George Russell now that Maximilian Verstappen signing him in 2026 is off the table. Don't believe me about Toto, the boy who cried wolf? Let me tell you what Ross Brawn said. In his book, he said that he couldn't trust Paddy Lowe, nor could he trust Niki Lauda, nor could he trust Toto, the boy who cried wolf, because he's duplicitous depending on what's at stake. Now in Autosport today, Toto, the boy who cried wolf, keen to curry favour with George Russell because he wants to sign him. There is no alternative. Nobody else is on the table. Max has been taken off it. So therefore, he needs himself some King George Russell of Kings Lynn, Norfolk. Here's what Toto, the boy who cried wolf, has been quoted as saying in Autosport today. Remember the circumstance though, the context, that Lewis Hamiton needs him now more than ever to speak kindly about him. Not like he did last year, talking about cognitive sharpness is fundamental in Formula One. Here's what Toto had to say, and I quote, "When I look at George, the development that he's made since he joined Formula One, from the fast kiddo in Williams and then being drafted into Mercedes, clearly with the greatest of all greats, with Sir Lewis, Carl Davidson, Hamilton. And you've already seen last year, he started to be so strong on pure pace. In terms of results, he was the stronger driver as versus Lewis Hamilton." Oh, the humanity. Toto, why now, chap? Time and place. I understand that you need to all of a sudden now place your eggs in the King George Russell basket. I get it. But surely Sir Lewis is your friend. Why are you talking about? And that might be the truth, by the way, that George Russell, over the course of their tenure, their joint tenure together, the 3 years, that George Russell roundly outperformed Sir Lewis Hamilton, owing to the fact that Lewis didn't blend well with the car and its ground effect circumstance, anti-dive, anti-squat et al. But yeah, and still, Toto, the boy who cried wolf, there is a time and a place. If you are Sir Lewis Hamilton's friend, given what we saw this past weekend at the Hungarian Grand Prix, I am losers. Maybe they should replace me. Maybe Ferrari need to change the drivers. That's what Sir Lewis Hamilton said. Why then, not less than a few days after that, is Toto coming out and saying that King George Russell was the stronger driver as versus one Sir Lewis Carl Davidson Hamilton? If indeed that dude isn't duplicitous. Sir John, you're an absolute legend as per usual. That, ladies and gentlemen, is techier than techie things. I'm not the biggest fan of Toto, the boy who cried wolf, but as far as currying favour with me, that only loses it. Duplicitous. Understatement of the year, Toto, the boy who cried wolf. Now, more than ever, when Sir Lewis Hamilton needs you, lest we forget that a friend in need is a friend indeed. How does one spell betrayal? TOTOWOLFF. Oh, the humanity.